The Evolution Performance Driving School, which most people refer to as Evo School, was founded in 1993. It's a traveling program that uses national caliber instructors with years of experience and national championships under their belt. They offer multiple schools that you take in sequence to help you evolve as an autocrosser. As a novice coordinator for 2 local clubs, I do a lot of instructing and I help organize and run novice schools and novice programs. I've won local events and local and state championships, but I'm definitely not a national caliber driver. I'm always looking to improve behind the wheel and as an instructor, so I was thrilled when one of the clubs I work with was generous enough to send me to the Phase One Evo School. I've heard about Evo Schools for years. At my local events, the conversation and concern about the Evo School is always centered around cost. Is it worth $265? This video will detail my Phase One Evo School experience. I'll give you my honest impression of what it was like to be a student, and my thoughts on whether or not an Evo School is worth attending. Let's start with the format. At this school, there are 24 students, divided into 6 run groups of 4 drivers. There are 4 instructors. Each student works with 2 assigned instructors over the course of the day. There are morning and afternoon sessions with a working lunch break in between. Just like any other autocross, your car must pass a basic but important tech inspection, there's a mandatory driver's meeting, and there are guided course walks. You will also have to work the course during the day. Each session is divided into 2 parts: solo runs and instructed runs. The morning session starts with 3 solo runs. Your instructor watches from outside your car and records your times. The instructor gives you some pointers after each run. All 6 groups of drivers do their 3 solo runs before everyone moves on to their instructed runs. During the instructed runs, you do 2 runs with your instructor in the passenger seat, then your instructor drives your car 2 times. Then you do an additional 5 runs with or without the instructor in the car, depending on what they feel will benefit you the most. The morning sessions focus on fundamentals: being early, positioning the car on course, finding the braking zones, and getting as close as possible to the cones. You can opt to pay for lunch when you register, or bring your own. During the lunch break, the instructors ask what students are learning and take the students on slow rides around the course to highlight the focus of the afternoon sessions, looking ahead. The schedule for the afternoon is the opposite of the morning. You start off with instructed runs. You do 2 runs with your new instructor riding shotgun, then your instructor drives your car twice, then you do 5 more runs. Just like the first session, your instructor can choose to let you go solo on a few of these runs. Once every group has finished their instructed runs, each group ends the day with 3 solo runs. The course design was a little unique. A diagonal slalom led into a very, very tight circle. Followed by a short straight into a simple sweeper that led into an extremely small Chicago box. Followed by a chute, then 2 offset cones prior to a tight 3-cone slalom into the finish. You will most likely never see a tight circle or a Chicago box that small on a course at a points event. A course meant to teach fundamentals is often different than a competition course. This one was clearly designed to get people out of their comfort zone, regardless of how much experience they had. I was amazed by how far I was off of the cones in the circle, and everywhere else I hit more cones in one day than I have in an entire season. Everyone was crushing cones out there. I knew most of the students at this school. Some have 1 or 2 years of experience, and some have been autocrossing for many years. Several students are members of the local instructor pool I rely on to help novices at events. Because Phase 1 is required before moving on to Phase 2, it's been designed to accommodate students with varying degrees of experience. Even though there are 4 instructors at the school, you will mostly interact with the 2 instructors assigned to you. I had Jinx Jordan and Rick Cohn, both of whom have very impressive autocross resumes. It's a safe bet that your instructor at an Evo school is one of the best autocrossers in the country. Instructors vary at the events, but they all share the common love of getting drivers faster. Keep in mind that the number of students, the course design, the schedule, and the entry fee can change based on where the school is held. Now that you know the nuts and bolts of how the Evo school is put together, let me tell you whether or not it helped tighten up the nut behind the wheel of my car. The format is designed to get students 24 runs over the course of the day. Starting and ending with solo runs really lets you see your progress. Having the instructors drive your car helps give you a sense of what your car can do, and where to position your car on course. The event ran quickly and smoothly. The course was great to learn on. I'm a big believer that you have to be taken out of your comfort zone in order to improve at autocross. The course exposed some bad habits I've gotten into over the years. That tight circle gave me problems all day long, but it eventually taught me patience and exactly how wide my car is. Best of all, you could clearly see the reward for getting elements right. The instructors were dedicated, gave clear feedback and executable pointers. They were encouraging and excited about helping students. They were polite but direct. If I messed up, which I did a lot, they let me know. And as the day progressed, I asked one of my instructors to change his approach to suit my learning style, and he did it willingly. Here are 2 good examples of the post-run instruction I got from my instructors.
Last slalom was great. You gotta definitely bleed some more speed at the circle corner.
Okay, into it? Okay.
Yeah. You're still carrying way too much speed because you're
wow.
adding. I can't do the
How
math,
far off am I? Because I can't.
Okay. So on the right hand side, you were probably 5 to 6 feet.
Really?
Yeah, on the right.
Okay.
When you got close to the grass over here, when you got to this part of the circle turn,
yeah,
you're probably like 6 feet off the cone over here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I am not seeing that. Okay. All right. So
yeah, I was just under the assumption that you were just kind of pushing out there, and you knew that you were that far out.
No, I am not. We don't ever do any onions or whatever we call those, so I am just not attacking correctly. All right. So I'm gonna tighten that up.
Yeah.
How was the entry into the first slalom?
It was better. It still felt like it tapped the brake going into the second cone of the slalom.
Yeah.
So just back up your braking point.
Okay. To right before the entry into the slalom?
Yeah.
Brake, turn.
You want to be off the brake as you're passing the first cone of the slalom.
Okay.
And then I would say in the circle turn, since you're still struggling there, just be real patient getting back on the gas.
Okay.
Like, don't even get on the gas. Start to feed back on the gas until you're over here. Okay. It goes off camber, so you're already the car's going to want to push out. So you're going to have to slow down your speed in order to maintain the same arc through the corner.
Okay.
Let's go hit it.
You know, you're not going to find a half a second anywhere. You know, you've had too many runs at the course. You know what to expect and all that. So I'd say just try to, you're going to have to steer just as much. You're going to have to work just as hard. But try to carry another mile an hour everywhere. And try to get to the gas a little sooner, like coming off the slalom, coming off the circle, coming out of the Chicago box.
Yeah, I'm just going to go a degree more aggressive.
You still got to woe it up to get into your 3-cone slalom.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the braking zones the same. I'm going to be a little more aggressive everywhere.
Everything they're saying is right. The instruction from Rick and Jinx was great, and I got that kind of instruction following every run. 24 runs is the equivalent of 6 events of seat time. That is a tremendous amount of experience to get in one day. A lot of runs helps replace bad habits with new skills. But doing 24 runs creates a problem. Hot lapping. At a normal event, you have at least 5 to 10 minutes between runs. That allows you to make adjustments to your car, review run videos, and go through your pre-run routine. At the Evo School, I had to hot lap in each part of each session, and I was told there wasn't enough time for me to get out of the car and adjust tire pressure between runs. Some instructors operate under the philosophy that there's no need to change settings at a school. That is usually the case for stock cars on street tires, but heavily modified cars like mine, with 200 tread-wear tires, are very sensitive to tire pressure changes. I ended up at 39 psi in my tires at one point, 9 psi over optimal. During the morning session, one of my instructors was kind enough to drop my pressures for me before one run, and I ran my fastest time of the day. I didn't get to make those changes in the afternoon, and I never got back down to my fastest time. It was a little disappointing to spend all day getting familiar with a tricky course and not have my car in full attack mode to take advantage of what I learned. Because you're hot lapping, you're limited to 1 or 2 minutes between each run. I would have gladly done 5 fewer runs to get more time to adjust pressures, go through my usual pre-run routine, watch my run videos, and most importantly, talk more with my instructors between the runs. The famous autocross advice that sometimes you have to go slow to go fast also applies to giving, interpreting, and implementing instruction. Any event where customers are paying for seat time has the issue of perceived bang for the buck. The easiest measurement for that at an autocross school is the number of runs. I totally understand why the people in charge of the Evo School feel like they have to provide more runs than a less expensive school. But a driving school is not just about seat time. It's about quality seat time. I think the balance between seat time, prep time between runs, and instructor interaction can be a bit better at the Phase One Evo School. I'm a huge proponent of autocross schools. My advice would be to go to as many schools as you can, as early as you can. The more instruction you get, the faster you will improve. The very high skill level of the instructors at Evo School makes Phase 1 definitely worth every penny. It's a solid program with proven results. You won't be disappointed. But you really want to position it well in your overall approach to your driving education. $265 can get you a few SCCA events, 5 to 8 local club events, or 3 to 4 local novice schools, depending on the prices in your area. So I wouldn't make Evo School the first $265 I spent on autocross lessons, but I would absolutely do Phase 1 after attending a season of events and local novice schools. Personally, I wish I had done Phase 1 a few years ago, before I locked in my bad habits. I can honestly say I came away from the school a better driver and a better instructor. If you're considering doing an Evo School, here are my tips for making the most of your education. Come ready to learn, no matter how much experience you have. Leave your ego at home. Let your instructor know your learning style. The instructor-student relationship is all about communication. Make sure your car is capable of doing 24 runs and hot lapping several runs at a time. Consider tire wear if you run expensive autocross tires. I would have run street tires if I knew I couldn't adjust pressures. I'd even suggest rotating your 200 tread-wear tires when you have downtime between the morning and afternoon sessions. Let your instructor know what's unique about your car. I didn't tell my first instructor that I have no ABS and very good brakes, and he slid the car 20 feet.
Yeah, brakes are good and there's no ABS. Sorry.
That was absolutely my fault for not warning him. And finally, have fun. It's a school, not a competition. I hope this video helped you decide if Phase 1 Evo School is right for you.